Russia has dispatched a nuclear-powered submarine to actively escort and protect an oil tanker currently being aggressively pursued and shadowed by U.S. naval forces across international waters, according to an exclusive investigative report published by the Wall Street Journal. The U.S. Coast Guard reportedly attempted a high-stakes force boarding operation against this very same vessel just last month somewhere in the strategically vital Caribbean Sea, triggering an international maritime standoff that continues to escalate dangerously. This commercial ship initially got relentlessly pursued deep into the open Atlantic Ocean by American maritime patrol aircraft after repeatedly failing to successfully dock at designated Venezuelan oil terminals to load its cargo of sanctioned crude oil for export. The tanker instantly and dramatically changed course mid-ocean, reportedly executing a rapid reflagging maneuver by switching its official registration from Guyanese authority to formal Russian vessel registry under Moscow's protection in a calculated legal gambit. Under well-established principles of international maritime law governing freedom of navigation, commercial vessels legitimately flying any sovereign country's flag enjoy comprehensive protection extended by that nation-state against foreign interference or unlawful interdiction. This ship's freshly acquired Russian registration now critically complicates and severely undermines the United States' legal justification for attempting any further coercive boarding actions against what Moscow classifies as a duly protected national asset sailing peacefully. Reports circulating on January 5 specifically claimed that the U.S. military had urgently dispatched AH-64 Apache attack helicopters forward deployed to Allied United Kingdom bases specifically to conduct a hot boarding extraction as the ship sailed perilously close to Ireland. Retired Rear Admiral Fred Kenny said, and I quote, "Once it's legitimately registered, it gets the protection of the flag under international law. It's not retroactive. You can't say it was stateless 2 weeks ago, so we're going to say it's stateless now." A U.S. move to forcibly board the vessel could also open the door for retaliation by Russia and aligned nations like Iran. This empty oil tanker traversing international waters has rapidly emerged as the latest dangerous flashpoint igniting fresh tensions in the already volatile U.S. Russia strategic relationship, according to multiple senior national security officials speaking anonymously. Russia has reportedly issued formal diplomatic demands through back channels asking the United States to immediately cease and permanently stop its ongoing pursuit and harassment of the now protected Russian-flagged commercial vessel anywhere on the high seas. On December 6, Russia's foreign ministry publicly announced it was actively monitoring this deteriorating maritime situation with mounting concern, as covered extensively by the state-run RA Novosti news agency tracking naval deployments. Russia's foreign ministry said, and I quote, "At present, our vessel is sailing in the international waters of the North Atlantic under the state flag of the Russian Federation, and in full compliance with the norms of international maritime law. For reasons unclear to us, the Russian ship is being given increased and clearly disproportionate attention by the US and NATO military, despite its peaceful status. We expect that Western countries, which declare their commitment to freedom of navigation on the high seas, will begin adhering to this principle themselves." On that very same tense day, the U.S. military Southern Command publicly vowed on its social media post on X to aggressively stand against and intercept any sanctioned vessels attempting to violate American oil export restrictions anywhere within its area of responsibility. Current automatic identification system positioning data reveals the elusive ship is now steadily sailing approximately 300 nautical miles due south of Iceland, maintaining steady course directly toward the heavily trafficked approaches of the North Sea oil terminals. This dramatic maritime flare-up explodes onto front pages precisely as Washington and Moscow remain locked in bitter diplomatic tussle over the stalled contours of any potential Ukraine peace deal amid continued frontline stalemate. Russia has pointedly refused to formally accept or endorse the comprehensive peace framework recently put forth through high-level negotiations involving both the United States government and Ukraine's negotiating delegation in neutral third countries. Western governments universally accuse Moscow of systematically employing and expanding a clandestine shadow fleet comprised of hundreds of unregistered ghost ships deliberately designed to covertly sell Russian oil worldwide despite multi-layered economic sanctions. Analysts tracking maritime domain awareness through satellite imagery have detected and catalogued a massive armada comprising more than 1,000 individual tankers deliberately shrouded in obscure ownership structures registered through opaque offshore shell companies. These illicit vessels deliberately conceal their true commercial role and destinations by routinely switching off their mandatory radio transponder signals to effectively hide their real-time movements from Western naval intelligence surveillance networks. Additionally, these shadow fleet operators routinely conduct high-sea ship-to-ship transfers of sanctioned crude oil cargoes specifically in remote, poorly monitored waters far from international shipping lanes where Coast Guard patrols prove non-existent. Most of these aging tankers sailing within this precarious dark fleet exceed 15 years of operational service life, immediately prompting urgent fears among maritime safety experts of potentially catastrophic major oil spills and collisions threatening entire marine ecosystems. Moscow has categorically rejected and vehemently denied any state involvement or orchestration of the so-called shadow fleet transportation network, while simultaneously labeling all Western economic sanctions imposed against Russia as fundamentally illegitimate acts of economic warfare.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.